Today we're going to talk about leasing, or buying for that matter, if you're going to buy your own property, facility to operate your business. Obviously, buying costs more capital. It's not impossible. There are loans out there that will allow you to be able to buy and start a business. Leasing is appropriate depending on the facility that you need. And this is a very complex topic because regardless if you're leasing or buying, you still need to improve the space you're going to go into, likely for your own purposes. So that means there's additional capital required. Leasing means you're going to be improving somebody else's space. And so that comes along with a whole number of other challenges and issues that you want to address. Buying, of course, you improve that space. Well, you're improving your own investment. You're not putting money in and sinking money into another person's investment that you'll never recover. So if you're leasing, let's start there. First of all, leasing is as big a challenge as buying, other than not having to have the capital to purchase the property, because you still have to be zoned in the right area, and sometimes zoning doesn't allow for the purposes and the building is perfect for you. Therefore, you have to apply to have a zoning change or a special variance or a conditional use permit. Depending on the jurisdiction you're in, it's called 10 different things. But they'll allow usage in a zone that you're not particularly suitable for. So, for instance, you could be going into the car repair business, and there's a great location, but it's really in a commercial zone. And a commercial zone doesn't have zoning for the car business, but it's a permitted use. If it's a permitted use, then that means you can get a special variance. Now, when you're leasing, this is a little bit of a challenge because, first of all, if you're going to rezone, rezoning takes a year. Special use permit or conditional use permit or a variance takes somewhere around 4 to 6 months, again, depending on the jurisdiction you're in. And you have to know all these things. Because if you enter into a lease without knowing these things, you're bound by that lease. There's no way out. So part of the negotiation with the landlord in a leasing circumstance is to make sure that you do not commit before you know you can legally operate in that space. Once you're confident you can do that, and that can only happen through consultation with the city planning department, and likely an architect that you've got working for you who will understand the zoning and the issues that come along with that and the variances. Then you can enter into the contract. Once you're in the contract and you know you're going to get the space allotted in the time you want it allotted in, then you have to talk about, okay, so the zoning or the special use permit or the conditional use permit or the variance is in order. But that's only half the equation. Most people don't understand that the other half is, does the building meet the code for what you're going to use it for now? Which means if you're going to use it for, say, again, a car repair business, you'll need to have ventilation in that building. Ventilation that ventilates out exhaust fumes from that building sufficient for the building inspector to be able to then give you an occupancy permit. So that's just one example. If you're in say a daycare, the daycare will have to meet the code and also another department of the government that oversees daycares. Do you have the right number of spaces in square feet per child in this facility? Because your occupancy will be limited by that. Your ability to use the building will be limited by whether you meet the code, the building code, for the purpose that you're going to be using it for. So, lots of ins and outs here. You really need to retain someone who understands how to do this on your behalf. It is typically not a real estate agent. They are not very good at this. Your architect will have some expertise in this, but there are others out there who do understand how to make sure that you will not fall afoul of this. Some people like the land attorney to be involved. They can take care of some of this for you. But please don't do it on your own because there's nothing but disaster here. And in the next video, I'll talk about buying the building and the issues that go along with perhaps purchasing a building. In a subsequent video, I'll talk about, let's say you're in the service business and all you need is an office. We'll talk about that too. So stay tuned and keep watching. Bye for now.